Well, there's something pretty special happening in this house. We have enjoyed our time together so much, and I can see our friendships really beginning to grow. We've laughed together, we've shed some tears, we've shared our stories, and hopefully you're feeling the same thing in your group. But we have to remember, going all the way back to the first week together, that building those friendships, it's not a passive process. It's active. It's something you have to be intentional about over time. That's what we're going to talk about today, is how do you belong together with vision and purpose to grow as friends? You got to get all the way to that friends part. So let's get started. We've been wondering, what makes a group of friends, a life group, work? How do random people getting together with differences and similarities become friends? We have some ideas what we think works, but they're really just ideas. So we created an experiment. We invited 7 strangers to a house to talk together, to eat together, pray together, even cry together, to find out what turns a person into a friend. Join us with your life group to discover what it means to belong. Well, it's been so much fun spending time with you guys the last several weeks. And we've talked about a lot of things. We've talked about how to belong. We've talked about how to have a sense of purpose. We've talked about how to help each other grow in our life group. And what I was hoping we could talk about during this conversation is, how do we do all those things as friends? And in a small way, I feel like we've actually started to build some friendships here in the last few weeks together, which has been pretty awesome. Yeah. So I'd love to hear your thoughts. So fill in the blank. What do you think? A friend is a person who, what? How would you complete that sentence?
Friend is someone you can trust. Mm-hmm. So they know your heart, they know about you, and that sharing part of a life group is part of you earning the trust.
That's good. So what else? A friend is a person who?
To me, a friend is someone who's thoughtful and, just you're invested in them. Mm-hmm. And so their victories are your victories and their concerns are your concerns. So just really to feel like someone really cares, that someone's really thinking about you. Mm-hmm.
Good. What else? Any other thoughts? A friend is a person who?
I think a friend is someone that you can be real with.
Yeah.
A friend is someone that you can let your guard down. Someone in our life group talked about a cardinal. She loves birds, and she said, you see the front of a male cardinal, and they're red and beautiful. When they turn around, they have brown feathers. Yeah. And a friend is someone that you can show your brown feathers to, as well as the red feathers, and they love you just the same.
That's really good.
Yeah.
It's nice.
Oh, that's good. So one thing I noticed that nobody said is, a friend is a person who is like me. Mm-hmm. So nobody mentioned that I can only be friends with people who I have a lot in common with, or that I have a similar personality, or all of our interests are the same. So what do you guys think about that? Love to hear your thoughts. Elaborate on the fact that we didn't bring that up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like hearing different perspectives. Be able to have somebody who can hold you accountable in a different way, or help you process through things differently than you. I'm a huge feeler. I process everything through my emotions. So sometimes it's nice to process it with someone who maybe emotions aren't their first response to something.
That's been exactly my experience in our life group. And what's really interesting is that I have never actually been friends with a group of people that are more diverse than our life group is. Just different seasons of life, all kinds of different backgrounds. But it's just crazy. The time that we've spent together has brought our group to the place where we just want to be together. Mm-hmm. And I heard you say at lunch when we were talking earlier, Tiffany, that travel just gives you an appreciation for humanity.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing. The more you spend time with people who are different than you are, it just gives you an appreciation for the way God created the world and so many different people, and it just adds a lot of richness to life.